Not every song starts with the do note. The do note is not found at the beginning of every song. Let's say, for instance, soprano is the lead part as always, right? And their first note is so, not do. Initially, when you are confirming your key, the key to your song, just like we learned in the last class, you press the keyboard, you press that key on the keyboard, right? And when you sound it, you take your do from there. Let's take, for instance, on the piano, we have the C. Let's say your song carries the C key and you confirm it on your piano. Do. But the first note on the lead part, which is soprano, carries a so. How do you trace that so from the do you just sounded? Because if it were to start with a do, you can just take it from the key, right, and start singing. But now the beginning note of that song is so. How do you trace the so from that do that you sounded as the key of that song? That is what we'll be learning today. So let's switch to our whiteboard now and write down all the keys of the piano so as we can come back to the piano itself to see them, okay? Okay, we are now on our whiteboard, and as you can see, I have written all the keys, okay? Just as we learned on our last class, we have the C as the first key, and then the black one in front of C, which is the C sharp. And that same black key represents the D flat. So the ash right here, the ash sign right here represents sharp. And the B sign right here represents flat. Okay? So, just as we learned on our last class, the C sharp here can also be the D flat, because they are on the same key, they are on the same button of the keyboard. Hope you get from the last class, right? So if you have not watched the last video, I will leave it here for you to check out, okay? Or you can go to the playlist and watch it. Now, these two are on one button. So you have the C on its own, and then you have the sharp, and then you have the D flat before the D, and then you have the D sharp, and then you have the E flat on the same button again before the E. Then you have the F, and then you have the F sharp, you have the G flat, you have the G, then the G sharp, then the A flat, then the A, then the A sharp, then the B flat, then the B. Hope you can see how you write them. So when you want to assign a key to your song, just as we learned on our last class, this is how you write the keys, okay? You have finished composing your song and you want to give any of these as the key of your song. This is how you write them, okay? So let's go back to our piano now and check it out. Okay, we are on our piano and this is C. And you can see that C has a black button in front of it. C is white and it has a black button in front of it. So that is C sharp, because we said that any key, any black key found in front of the white one is the sharp of the white button, right? So this is C as the white button, and this is a black button in front of it, which is the sharp of C. And then this is D, and then we have the flat of D on the same button as the C sharp. And then we move further to say the D sharp is in front of the D. And then this can also be called the E flat because it is behind the E. And then we said that the E does not have a sharp because there is no black key here. So you can see that everything I just wrote on the whiteboard is right here on the keyboard. Okay, this is the F, we have the F sharp, and then the G flat, and then we have the G sharp, and then the A flat, and then we have the A, and then we have the A sharp, and then we have the B flat, and then the B. Okay, now how do we trace our first note from these keys? After assigning your key, how do you trace your first note of your song from the key you were given? Let's use a popular song as an example. Alright, we are on the song, right? The song is Renew the Strength. It's a very popular song, especially to Catholics. And you can see that on the lead part right here, which is the first line, sopranos have la as their first note, right? And you can see that the key right here, this is the key of the song, which is A flat. You can see the key here is A flat, and we were not given do as the beginning note of the lead part, which is soprano. Instead, we are given la. So let's go now and sound the A flat key. We are on our keyboard and we are about to sound the A flat key. The A flat can be found right here because this is A and the black key behind it is the flat, right? So we sound it now. Do, do, do. Don't forget, now let's go back to the song. We are back to the song. And the A flat sound we had is do, do. How do you now attack this la that we have here? You are supposed to run your scale, okay? Remember we have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right? So, since the song does not begin with a do, how do you trace this la from your scale or from the key that you were given? Let's go back to our whiteboard now and find that out and solve the problem. Now, we are on our whiteboard. We have been doing do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do as usual, right? What if you are asked to run that scale downwards, starting from the do here? Okay, starting from this do, run it downwards. That is where you get that la that you're looking for. And this is what we have written here. Do. This is the do. Well, we are running it downwards, no longer forward. Just like you are starting here to say do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. But these ones are normal notes and not the struck down. This is why you see the strike down after every note on this scale, because they are now deeper and not as the normal one without a strike down. And the reason why we have this strike up here is because it is a higher octave than the normal do. So these are normal notes. Any note without a strike down or a strike up is a very normal note. Now, we want to start with a normal do and run this scale down with the strike downs. Hope you understand. Just as we did here, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. We are doing it now with this. So, if the key is do, do, and your song does not carry do to begin with, instead it carries la, what you do is run your scale down to that la. Do, ti, la, do, ti, la. Then you start singing that song from the la that you have, la, la, do, as it is on that song. So if you sound the do on your keyboard just as we are about to do now, we have the A flat right here. Do, do, right here. Do. And then you are to take your La from there. Let's go back to that whiteboard. So the key we confirmed is do, right? So we are to run that scale after sounding that do here. Do, ti, la. Normally the full scale is do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. But now we are looking for La since our song began with La. So do, ti, la. Now that we have gotten our first note from the key we were given, let's go back to the song and try to sing it. So we are now on the song, and the first note on the song is La, which is right here. So let's try to sing it. La, la, do, do, ti, la, so, la, 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 ti, do, do, re, mi. Now, for the sake of time, let's visit the next line, which is the altos, right? How can we trace our mi from the scale, since we have this as our key? So if soprano have La, run that scale downwards again, since mi is found behind La, just as we have here on our scale. This is the scale do, ti, la. We have gotten soprano, right? La, so, fa, mi, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi. You have gotten your alto. Mi, re, mi. That is what is on that song, right? Mi, re, mi. So let's go back and try it out on the alto. So alto has mi, re, mi. Soprano has la, la, do. Tenors have a normal do, which means you will sound that do normal as you confirmed your key. Do, 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 ti, la, do, ti, la, 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 do, mi, re, mi, do, ti, la. Then the basses have the same La as soprano. La, so, fa, la, so, fa. Theirs is heavy because they are men, right? So that is how to trace the notes you are about to sing from the key that you were given on a particular song. We were given do on our keyboard, right, as the key of the song. Run your scale downwards or upwards if at all the notes are normal, okay? Run your scale downwards or upwards, so as whenever you get to the specific note on that scale that you are running with the key you were given, you can now start singing your song from there. So thank you for watching this video. I hope it wasn't too confusing. If you have your questions, leave them in the comment section. I will answer them all. See you in the next one, and don't forget to watch other videos of the class so as you catch up. Bye.